Well, hello anybody, Blender Pretender here, playing with Blender and posting it online for fun, playing with Blender for fun really. And it's been a long time since I posted last, but today I ran into somebody, haven't seen in about a year I think, and also I don't know when I'd see him again, but the friend of mine says to me, when's the next Blender Pretender video? And jokingly I said to him, well, that channel's been abandoned. That, of course, I said it jokingly. I'm not sure that he realized that at the time. But yeah, so um, even though I haven't posted in a long time, I haven't really found, it's been difficult because I really haven't found things of worth of interest to post and everything. But today I'm doing this one because, well, I'm doing it for my friend. Chris, this one is for you. I'm going to try to make it brief in a short video. I'm going to do a video, if I can show the screen here, of something that, this is what I've done with Blender lately, since he asked. This is what I've done with Blender. It's simple animations, not anything terribly creative, nothing like that. It's hard actually for me. It's not hard. It's the AI thing has put a damper on a lot of things. I think for me personally, and you know, just to try to get into the creative stuff when you have other responsibilities, it gets difficult. It gets hard. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to reproduce this little animation that is shown here. I've done it once before, so it should be brief. This is my Twitter, me on Twitter, right? My Twitter thing. I don't use it for anything other than just to keep, you know, keep up on stuff that's happening with Blender World and stuff like that, and 3D and just general stuff that comes across my feed. Now, one of the things that came across my feed was this person right here. I'm going to scroll up so you can see it. So I decided to follow this person. It came across my feed once, and all he does is he posts like little geometry, algebra, trigonometry problems where you have to find the area of something, which seems simple enough, but some of them become a little bit of a head scratcher, and sometimes. And you know, and truly, some I haven't been able to figure out at all. So even though they seem simple, they're just an exercise of a language. Let's say the math language that we learn, you know, but we seldom use. So and easy to make mistakes and easy to you know, just not figure out or get it right. So I've made mistakes. I've actually responded to him with mistakes, which is embarrassing, but you know, it's just the way things are. So, anyways, this particular problem, this particular video that I created here, and people respond. There's lots of people that respond to it. Here's another video, for example. There's people that respond also giving the answers to this person. And this particular video here is to respond that the way he posed the problem here, it has constraints, but the constraints don't really the constraints don't exist to the point where it's a fixed area, so it's a variable area, and that's what I'm showing with the animation. And that's what I want to do. It should be a short or a more brief video than I'm normally accustomed to making, because I've already done it once to answer that, and now I just thought it'd be a good idea, maybe just you know, since my friend had a question, it's like, what, you know, what happened to your videos? Maybe that's what he's thinking. When's the next one? Also, for my subscribers or anybody that's wondering, you know, the channel's still there. I do plan to post, but I need to find inspiring things to put and post in the world of AI, simulations and geometry nodes and all the good stuff that it's very time consuming to learn and to invest time into to get something that's actually of value. All right. Well, all that said, that's what I'm going to do and see if I can keep on going. So I think I already said it. Chris, this one's for you. Let me see. Now for that animation, I think, yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm going to start from scratch. I'm doing it real time as well, the way I normally do. I'm going to go here, start this one, just so that I can show the buttons that I'm pushing and stuff like that. Move it up here some. Maybe I'll move it. Maybe I should move it all the way up there. There. Let me see. I'm going to take the camera, Alt G R and scale. That doesn't have a scale, but I'm going to erase the light because I don't need it. I'm going to take that square, erase it too, because I'm not going to use it. Grab in the Z. I'm going to go 10. As I normally do when I do 2D images, this is going to be a 2D animated image. And what I normally do is just turn that camera into an orthographic camera, and then I'll give it a 10 scale for now, and I'll figure out, I know it's going to be bigger because I've already done it once, but I'll figure out what size I'm going to have as part of the process. So to begin with, I'm going to insert a image as a plane, and here I'm going to go Blender Pretender. Where is it? I called it Math Problems, beep, beep, right there. And that's the one I already did. I'm going to do another one over here, just so that I don't mix my files. Import. So I just went into the render view and looking through the camera. The camera is orthographic. So yeah, this image here is not quite in the center. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place the cursor right there in the center. Maybe a little off. There, that's fine. And W, set origin to 30 cursor. Alt G. See, actually, I centered the cursor as well. I don't want to move it just yet. I want it to hit this, and I just want to verify that it's on the 0, 0. Everything's zeroed out. Shift add a mesh, a circle, and I want to make it plenty of subdivisions, and I want to make it 5 meters. I want to keep it 5 meters, even though this is 5 centimeters. It just, I don't want to deal with the 0.00 or 0.0 whatever, you know. So anyway, 7. So the camera usually gets in the way, so I'm going to move that camera now to a new collection, and then hit 1 on the keyboard there, just so that I can hide it. And let me see, I forgot about this. Let's see if that works. Okay, so now all I'm going to do is scale that one and scale it until it meets that line. Kind of hides it a little bit, but what I'm going to do is go into the shading over here while I have that plane selected. Take that one, add a math node, multiply it. I'm multiplying the alpha by 0.5. There we go. So that creates a little bit of a transparency. So I just scaled the image to this right now, to this circle right now, just so that I can make sure that I'm in the right track, and I'll show you why, because I easily get lost while I'm trying to do the drivers and so on. What I'm going to do is create use drivers to create the animation. Duplicate X, so I'm going to move it over a few units, whatever that is. Let's say 50. So here's where actually I don't really need to duplicate it. I can delete that one. So that just gives me that circle right there. And and I got to collect my thoughts. Even though I've done it once before, I still have to collect my thoughts. So the area for this thing is going to vary. That's what I'm trying to show in the animation. And one position where you can, where these points are on the circle, and it's also perpendicular in quotes, is when it's at 0. It's at 0 over here. So really, this has a variance where it would move, you know, along the 45-degree axis line. So if I were to, you know, just draw a line, which blue is not a good color, view, annotations, and let's make that all the way over there so we can see it. Maybe a little bit more to the orange. There we go. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is that at that point, I drew it wrong. But if you can imagine, there's a 45-degree line. It goes opposite to that. So when they're supposed to meet over here, but pretend they do. When the circle or the quarter circle comes to this position right here is when it's going to have its max area. That's the whole point of that. And when it has its max area, then because this is 5, this is 10, and this distance over here is 10 over square root of 2, this distance right here, and therefore then the area at that point is 1/4 of pi times 10 over square root of 2 squared. And so that should yield a value that's going to be the value at the maximum, and yes, that is correct. So this would be the radius for that quarter circle at a maximum, and then it just goes to 0, and so on and so forth. So the idea for me is then to basically just take that quarter circle and scale it as it moves up and down that line accordingly. And so that's it. And so Blender to the rescue. Let me take that quarter circle, that circle there, and then let me add another, or let me just duplicate it in the X over here. And I'm going to tab in, I'm going to fill in the face. I'm going to take these vertices, fill them, take these, not fill, I did the wrong command there, join, to make sure that they split. Join, if I take the faces there and X faces, now I have that quarter circle. If I take that one, so what I really want is to evaluate this expression over here. 1/4, and I have a calculator over here. So 1/4, I should already know this since I only did it a few days ago. On the weekend is when I did this already once, so I should already know it. But this is going to be 1/4 pi times 100 over 2. That's once you square it. So that's equal to pi 25 over 2. And if I take that and say pi times 25 divided by 2, it's 39.26. That's the area. Okay, that's the area. But what I really need is this value also over here for the radius. I'm going to put a big R. I'm going to put come on, big R over here for the big radius. The little radius is going to be, then I'm going to distinguish, is going to be this one. And this because it is bigger, right? So R max, let's call it at the max, is equal to 10 over square root of 2, which is equal to, wait a second, square root of 2. 7.07107. What did I say? 07107. Let me check that. Yeah, that's about as good as it's going to get. So that's what I need over here. So x minus 7.07107. So that's the center. That's going to be the center of this. I'm going to snap to the cursor to that point, go 3D cursor, select everything except for that one, and then turn on my that one. So basically I want all of these with the active and to the vertex. So make sure this is the active scale. Boop, snap to that. And there's another one there. So if I go there's that vertex, XV tab. I also wanted to have this as a center because I'm going to show in a minute. I found that to be the easiest. I already have the cursor there, so I'm going to go W, set origin to the 3D cursor. All right, Shift C. So the way this is going to work is that so that circle right there, that quarter circle should really fit in here. in its maximum position, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that it follows the first Alt-G, put it back into the center. I'm going to add an empty sphere. I want to start renaming because I already know I went into this problem. Better to name them now than later. So I'm going to use center. I'm going to have two empties that are rotating. One is going to be center. It's going to be for the bottom half. Shift duplicate Y. And since this circle is 5, I could snap to it, but I'm just going to go -5. And that one is going to be parented to this one, Control P, object. This one is called, instead of center, I'm going to call it perimeter. Is that how you spell perimeter? Probably an E. I don't know. Meter, I don't know. Bottom. I don't want that 001. Okay, I'm going to rotate that one. Actually, it's still not parented. Alt-P, clear the parent for now. Alt-P, clear the parent. Take that. Since I have the cursor, I'm still rotating off the cursor. Rotate. And it tells me up here, so I'm going to be -45. Oh, let's do that again. Rotate. Okay, it's 45. Boop, right there. Now I'm going to Alt-P. I'm sorry, Control-P for parent object. And then for this one, I'm going to Alt-R to make sure that one, Alt-R. There, I did Control-R. So that one needs to have its rotations, everything clear, but that location there is at 45 degrees over here. And then this one is going to be parented to this one. So, and then take that one, snap it to this, and then Control P. No, I'm not going to Control P. I already did that once before when I was experimenting how to do it. And I really want a constraint because I don't want it to rotate right along with it. So I'm going to add a constraint, copy location. So the copy location, actually, I don't need to parent Alt-G. I'm going to do that. Make sure it's clear. Don't have to, but I just like to. And make sure it copies that location. So when I rotate this one, I'm going to go off the medium point and rotate. So this one's going to rotate like that. All right. Control save. Oh, I haven't saved. Control save. And this is, I'm going to call it no, I'm not. I'm going to call it, again, quarter circle. All right. So I'm going to start giving it some materials just so that I can start seeing some of the things. Emission, color, I'm going to give it that blue color somewhere there. Actually, I can go and do this and sample that color so it looks the same, somewhat the same. They look somewhat the same. Okay, that's one color. I'm also going to need another color. That one is going to have a material, but the thing is that right now it's just a line. So there is a modifier that I could use just to make sure that it's got something. I think it's called the skin. I am branch, so on and so forth. It's at 0. Oh, I thought you could modify that thickness. It doesn't seem to be a opportunity to do that, or giving me an opportunity to do that. Smoothing, create armature, and so on and so forth. Okay. I'm going to keep that for now. It's just a matter of having that circle. Oh, the camera is also very, very small. So what I'm going to do is go to the camera and increase in size until I get more or less what I want. 23, 24. There you go. Grab Y a little bit like that. Okay, let's do that. And then this one, in terms of material, it had call that one black, and this one blue. So now I should be able to see that. Yeah, that works. So that one is going to be on top. Grab Z. I'm going to go about to make sure that it's on top. The other one's on the bottom. So I'm going to add a mesh, a plane. Grab Z -5, scale it out, 0, and make sure, come on, that, yep, it's big, covers the camera. And here I'm going to go new one. I'm going to call this is going to be white too, so I didn't need a new one. So I'm going to go and select, oh, I didn't do it white. So emission all the way, white. Okay, so that's the start of some of this stuff, and the genesis of what of the animation, right? So I'm just going to animate this to go around as a quarter circle, and so let's do that. Let's bring this up for a bit so I can see some of this. I'm going to turn the keying thing on, the recorder, they call the recorder, but only the keying set. And the keying, I'm going to go here. And I'm going to do only rotations so that I can key the rotations only. So I'm going to go I to initiate one. I already have an idea because I did it once before. For that pace that I was just showing, I have an idea of how much it's going to be. So I'm going to go 100. And then I'm going to rotate it. The 180, and I'm going to make sure T linear. These are all linear, and then I'm going to go 25 more, 125 up here, and yeah, I'm going to hit I again. $25. So it should be really just. Oh, actually, no. In order to do what it's doing there, I'm going to go 90. And here, 90. And then here, 180. So there we go. Stop, pause, and then another. Duplicate 25. So it should be a 250. And then it starts coming back. So to come back, it's going to take these, and they go at 250 plus 100. Where's 350? There. And then that's 375 plus 100. So that's 475. Is that one. There we go. And then of course it's going to end at 499. So that's the pace. Pause. Goes up. Pause. Comes back. Pause. And again. Pause. And then rotate again. Let me take them all and go T linear to make sure they're all linear. Just in case some of them weren't. Control save. Okay, so that's done. So now what I need is the other empties. So it's going to be, I'm going to duplicate both. And so now I'm going to choose the one that I did bottom and hide it. And choose the one that I called bottom and hide that. So I should have bottom one. So I'm going to call it top. And then That one is top. Okay. There's a keyframe already on that one, and I don't know why. On this one, I mean, there's a keyframe for something up here. It really should not have any keyframes. This one, I mean. Although it may not be a keyframe for that, it might be a keyframe for the annotations. That's what that is. Let me delete that. So let me go and to the view and the annotations. Go back over here and then hit that. So I can see all the annotations, and if any keyframes, I'll just delete them. That means I wrote stuff out here and then maybe deleted it. So I don't want that. No keyframes for that one, but I do have the keyframes for that one, which were copied over right now as I did that. Well, what I'm going to do is select everything, and I really want to just mirror them. So let me go, I think it's Alt M, oh no, it's Control M, select all by time, by value over cursor value. What is my cursor value? My cursor value is here, so value 0 degrees at keyframe 125. What am I seeing? Active keyframe. I want the cursor view cursor. So cursor is at frame 1, and the Y value is at 0. So Control M by value over cursor value. That should be the inverse of that. There, it's doing what it does. Let me Alt H so we can see the empties that I hid. So there. The whole point then is kind of like that game. See, every time I've gone sometimes to like Mexico and places like that, and they have this game with these balls on the string, and then you just go back and forth, and the balls go bah, 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 bah. They make a loud noise. These marbles, they're not glass marbles, but they're like I don't know what they're made of, plastic or something. They make a loud noise. Just a toy for making noise. But that's what's happening right here. Is like smack, 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 smack. Okay, enough of that. What's going to happen next is that I'm going to use the driver of the distance. So I'm going to find this point right here, maybe right here in the middle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the distances here. So I'm going to find this distance here, so I'm going to call it C. And so C squared is going to be equal to, in this case, I'm just going to call x1 minus x, or let's say this is x1, this is x2, whatever, whichever, but I got to keep the convention x1 squared, and this is wrong x. I'm putting it on the y side. So that's going to be squared. So this squared plus this squared equals, so I'm drawing it wrong. So the function that I'm going to use is C squared equals, right, minus x1 squared. There, beep, like that. So C is going to be equal to that. So I'm going to calculate that and then use that scale. So I'm going to say the scale equals C over 10, because 10 is going to be the radius right here, which is this over 10. I'm writing this because when I did it the first time, I got confused back and forth. So it helps me to know this kind of stuff. So what I'm going to do is set a driver for the scale on this one. So here it is. Let's go to the item over here. And then I'm going to say here, scale, this one. Boop. add a driver. And I'm just gonna get rid of that window for now and then go open driver editor so I can see it better, right? And so I want one of these, but I want it to be the bottom. Let's say the empty perimeter bottom. And then I want the X location is fine, so I'm going to call it bot X. So I'm going to add a variable, and for now let's just erase that and just go 1 for now. So this one is going to be empty perimeter top. So this is the empty perimeter top, and I'm going to call it top X. I want it to be this one, this type right here. So it's going to be the X location. All right, I'm going to add another one, and I'm going to also make sure it's a transform channel, and it's empty perimeter bottom again. But in this case, I'm going to use the Y location, bot Y, and then I'm going to add another one. Again, transform channel, empty top. So yes, that's correct, empty top, and I'm going to call it top Y, toppy. I want to call it toppy, and make sure it's getting the Y location. So it's Y, 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 X, 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 bottom, bottom, top, top, bottom, bottom, top, top. Okay, so I should be able to write the expression that I just wrote over here. So let's look at it. Over here, make it smaller. So the scale will be that. Let's make this smaller so I can see that right here. So this is going to be the equivalent here. Then it's going to be a parenthesis. So inside that whole parentheses, first that's divided by 10. So inside that whole parentheses is another 2 little parentheses squared. Actually, those parentheses are the square root SQRT of another 2 little parentheses that have, I know I wrote it, so it's an x2. I didn't give myself those, but let's say x2 is bottom 1, right? So it'd be bot X minus, I said box, bot X minus top X. So I already have a parentheses for that, and that's star star squared plus another 2 parentheses to get in there, and that's going to be bot Y minus top Y. And then star star 2. Okay, so I think I have enough. I'm going to count parentheses anyways. 1, 2. 1, 2 minus 1 minus 1. Now plus 1, so it sounds like I have 1 extra parentheses. Let's count on the other way. I usually then sometimes just count 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. No, they're the same. Okay, good. Enter expression. So it's giving me a value 0.72, and I can measure it. 7.2. Okay. So it's giving me a value right now. It's saying 0.752. That would be 0.752 of the value that I calculated earlier to be the. That's of 10. 752 is very close. 735. So I just did that. It's very close. So let me just take it to the. Let me delete that measurement, number 1, and take it to 100, and then zoom in here. Take that. Let me close this for a second. And well, actually, it's because it is actually scaling already. Seems to be scaled already. Only on the X. That's interesting. Right there. I haven't copied over to the X, so what I gotta do is copy the driver. Can I use the same driver? Let me go copy driver, paste driver. Beep. Goes to 0, seems to come to that. So at 100 and change, it should evaluate open driver editor. It should evaluate the expression that I was seeing. It should evaluate at 1.024. Something a little off. That 0.24, that's, 2 centimeters off. It's using the location. It should be giving me something more accurate than that, really. I'm trying to think where it's rounding that it might not give me the actual 1. I'm going to chalk it up to rounding right now. I'm going to take that and delete it. Actually, I'm going to take this and erase it because it's bugging me and it's in the way. Come on. I'm going to take that one and I'm going to get rid of its orthographic. It seems the circles do not seem to be on the right spot. I wonder if I moved it. The circle, I mean. Or moved these, or moved one. So Alt G, that one it's a 0, 0. These are also at 0, 0, 0, 0. And these are at what presumably would be the right distance over. I could have possibly moved them the wrong way, meaning what I'm getting at is that should be -5, which is correct, and this should be right on it, and it's not. So something's amiss there for both of these. So let's do that. Let's fix this. Since it's already parented, so it's going to be close enough. But here's what I got to do. I just got to do some math and figure out why. Back to this condition right here. So when this is 5 at 45 degrees, 5, 5. So the negative x should be 5 over square root of 2. And vice versa, the other one too. So three point 5355. Well, that is correct. That is correct. That is what they're showing. The camera is orthographic. I am seeing through the camera. I didn't realize this thing's so high up there. Why is it so high up there? Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, they're off of the circle. And this circle itself, that particular vertex, it's -5. I wonder. So I'm going to reproduce what I just did. I have the top one. Let me take the bottom one, shift duplicate y -5. and then off the 3D cursor. The only thing I can think of is I might have rotated off the 3D cursor in such a way that it's orthographic, rotate, minus 45. Rotate 45. So see, this circle is right on. Alt R. This circle is not. This empty here is not. And the scale, the scale here. For whatever reason, that one got scaled up. So that's what's happening. For whatever reason, all of these got scaled up a little bit. It seems like it. Let me delete the one that I just used to, no, I didn't, not that one. That's the one I just used to figure this out. X, delete. Okay. That one does not appear to have a scale. That does not appear to have, that does. For whatever reason. That one does not have a scale. Oh, did I erase the other one? What did I erase? I probably put one of these to a 0 scale is what I did. Let me go back over here and find empty bottom, center bottom, empty center top. 1. 1, 1, 1, 1. For whatever reason, I added the scale there. I don't know why I have a keyframe here. In all the moving, because I had the recorder, I added a keyframe. So always things to complicate this. I'm going to X delete that keyframe. There we go. Now it's right on the line. I don't know how I added some of this, the scale there. I may have, in my haste, hit the scale while I was trying to draw. And so it's already working to what I wanted to do. Okay, so that's the animation, pretty much it right there. Now the next will be to add the area to print over here to show the area as it's working over here. So as it's going around, I mean. So for this, what I'm going to do is, well, number one is let me do some cleanup here. Let me add a collection here. So I'm not going to use that camera collection to print. I mean, I'm also here going to take all of these and move them over here. So all I want is, yes, let me rename some of the stuff. F2, so I know what's what. Circle. F2. I really gotta look up, see how you spell perimeter. Something tells me it's like that, but I don't think so. Maybe it's not. Circle. Circle. Okay, there's that. And then what else is gonna? I say print, but what else is going to render? F2. Background plane. So background plane. So what I have is the capture. That's this one over here. So I'm going to move that one to collection 32. I don't care for it to render. And I'm going to turn it off when it's time to turn it off. Okay. So I think everything's set to render correctly. But what I need, come on, select everything. All right, what I need is a cursor to select it. Well, tab. That one. So that 5 kind of gets in the way. But I wanted dimensions, right? So extrude it, snap, selection to cursor. I'm going to use that just to be the, somehow similar to show 5 centimeters. And I'm going to add a text. 5 cm, 5 centimetros, tab. And those, of course, are going to be black. Just rotate them as needed. Right there, scale them down as needed. Put it where it goes right there, that's fine. Another thing that I need is, wrong one, X, delete. So take that vertex, shift, duplicate Y. That's too big. Grab Y. I'm going to make that little cross. E, Y. W, subdivide. There it is. Grab Y, snap there. Duplicate, rotate 90. All right. All I'm doing is just creating that little cross. And then rotate Z 45. Select everything. Select them EZ about 0.5. I extrude it up, that's fine. I want to make sure that it's above it, above that blue circle. Okay. I think that's it. That's what I need in order to make it work. So what I'm going to do is on that collection right there. So right now I'm looking at this here, but on this collection right here, I'm going to go Shift Add, Grease Pencil, Collection Art, or Line Art, sorry. Here's the modifier, and then I'm going to make it thicker. And then just thicker and thicker until it works. Oh, I needed one more thing. I needed one more thing. Let's go to the 100 right there. Is it off? Is the stuff off? Why can't I select it? I am in edit mode, object mode, there it is. Turn the line art off for a second. Take that. I just need a little square, so Shift duplicate Z. E, Y. It's what about 0.2, 0.2, and then select that, and then EX 0.2. It's a little small, isn't it? Scale 2 times. Scale 1.25 right there. Turn the line art back on. That's cool. It figures out that there's a thing there. It must be doing it real time. Okay, so that's the animation. Control save. Now I want the area, and the area is going to be the same kind of concept. Just take those distances and work out a radius out of which a quarter of it is going to be the area, and it's going to calculate real time. Excuse me. Okay. Next, let's do it. All right. For that, I'm going to use geometry nodes. Geometry nodes. Shift C. Shift add a mesh. I'm going to add a cube. Again, looking through the camera, I'm going to grab Y. Bring it over here, put it right around there. So I'm going to hit a new geometry nodes. Geometry node. Okay, I'm going to add, I don't know much about geometry nodes, by the way. I just putz around and look for stuff here, but so I found a way to do that, and so I'm going to reproduce what I did, but it's not like I know what I'm doing. Okay, I found it somewhere, and I know it's here. Utilities, text, value to string. So I'm going to put a value to string. The value is going to come from the value is going to come from the math that I'm going to do right now with text, and then string to curves. So let's start with a 10 real quick. Shove that in there. Shove that out here. So it already shows me a 10 right here. Shift add curve operation. I think it is fill the curve. Shove that in there so it's triangulating. Actually, it's putting it into the line art, and I don't want it there. So I'm going to move it to collection, to a new collection. Collection 4. Okay, so it needs a shift add. Yeah, it does. Is it utilities and material? Or material rather. Boom, boom, black. Choose black. All right. All right, so now let me just work out the value and see if it calculates as it moves around, right? So for that, shift add. A utility math. Just a simple math node to start with. I'm also going to need the information for these, and I want the world information. Shift add input group scene object info. So I'm going to need 2 of these. One is going to be for the perimeter, empty perimeter bottom, empty perimeter top. I'm going to need a vector separate here and one here. So what I'm going to do is separate the locations. So I have x, x. So I'm going to take that x and subtract that x. Duplicate that, take that y, and subtract this y. I'm going to take this value and square it. Okay, maybe I need more room this way. Grab. There we go. Take that value and square it, and now take that value and add it. Add it, and then take that value again and square it. Square root it, 0.5. So the difference there, that gives me that length that I need to then take it. So yeah, take the square root of that. That gives me that length. Divide that. And then that will be divided by the to the 0.5 divided by that. So that should give me the radius that is going to be used to get the value. So here I need, what did I say it was? It's in the layout. No, I erased it all, didn't I? No, I didn't. Let me go home. Okay, I turned it off. So I really want, no, I didn't turn it off. It's in there somewhere. It is. I went home and it didn't give me. So because I'm in the camera, 0, 7, home. That's how you get to see this stuff. So what I really want is pi, the area is pi times 25 or 2 for that max area, but it really needs to be, so 1/4 of r. So we're calculating r, so 1/4 r squared. Let's go back over here to the geometry nodes. So what I was saying is that I have r, this should put out r, and that's going to be then multiplied by so first I have to square it. So let me go power. Yeah, it's this value right here that gets squared. Power to 2 and multiplied times pi. I'm saving this one to divide pi. So I'm going to multiply that. Multiply that by pi over 4, right? Is that correct? That value goes to the string. And so now I can just push beep, 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 and then go to where it pauses, because I already know what that is. I can evaluate that. And then here go that much. Goes to 0. And then starts over again, comes back. And then shrinks to nothing. Okay, to nothing, nothing. Okay, what I can do is evaluate it right there by doing the math over here. I'm gonna check it, double check it real quick. $39.269, which is 39.27, which is what's calculating right there. All right. Grab. And now I'm going to add a input a string. Shift add. I think it's in utilities where you get text. Join strings. So this one goes in here. So I'm going to join. What I'm going to join is a string that says area equals, and then so I think I can do this like this. So take this one, shove it on top, area equals, and then duplicate this one, cm squared. I'm going to keep it easy and just use that notation. There's probably on the bottom. There it is. Area equals cm squared, and then justify center. I wonder if I can add that squared as shift that. Oh, that is the hour. Wow, that much time spent. I'm going to reset that for a second because I'm almost done. I'm just going to go to the render here and show the final finished product. Maybe I don't have to show the render. I mean, if I'm already getting it to do what I'm doing, so I can just call it quits here pretty soon. I mean, let me just make sure. I was going to see if I could do a Utilities in the text. String length, size, may replace string, join strings, so on and so forth. Special characters. What kind of special characters? Line break and tab is the special characters that we get. I'm not sure how many, you know, what other kinds of special characters I could get. Another way to do this. So, and the other, in the other video, the one that I created originally, what I did is I created another join, or joined another number, but with a transform. So I duplicated these and I added the transform. Maybe I should do that just because it's kind of dumb, but I did that. Duplicated this over here. So this one takes a string of 2, shoved it in here, and then this one over here, shift add geometry, join geometry over here, and I added these over here. So there's a 2 somewhere in there, and then shift add, I think it's under mesh transform. I don't even know where it is, I have to search for it. Transform geometry, that one. Wherever it lies, wherever it lives, I don't know. So, and then move this one over. Over like this, and then I took this one and got rid of that. So here I just scaled it down and then brought it up in the Y and the X. And the thing about that is that then you need to be able to move it over when the digits narrow down. So that would require some more, you know, trying to figure out how to you know, extract the string length. Maybe, for example, there's a utilities text string length, for example, that one. If I were to take that and shove it in here, it gives me the string length. And I don't see, that's a green dot, so it doesn't really go into anything. It's does it go into the geometry? But it might give me a value that I can use to try to narrow that to somehow. But what I did for the video, because it would just seem like it's right, justified, I went and justified them right, and then justified this one right, and then the transform, brought it back over here, and then grab X, and then it looks like it's justified right, and it doesn't jump. CM squared. I actually need a space in front of the CM. And there it is. All right, so that was it, really. That's it for all of this. I didn't do this. I would have to explore that more, and then to do that real time, it's just I've done enough of that already. Okay, in the previous videos, I mean. So here's the product now finished. The other one is that I was going to do is, I'm not going to render it. It's going to take time on the video. So what I'm going to do is just go to the camera. And yes, I had selected, or it's by default that one. But instead of 1920, I'm going to go 1080, just the same. It's a square. And okay, so that means I need to adjust the camera. So I'll take the camera and bring it over like that. So 12.75 seemed to be that. And all right, that seems to be working. And then of course to render, one of the things that's important is to, not here, but here, make sure that your color management, especially for something like this, doesn't need to be the filmic. It can be that. I see a little funny thing happening here with the line art. Who knows? And so it doesn't need to be that. It can be the standard, so it looks nicer. And then the other part of that is that for this particular wireframe, turn that back on, and line art, turn it off. I don't know why my cursor is stuck with the wrong cursor. Oh, it's not stuck. It's just that X, Control Z. Oof! I won't be able to grab that. There it is. X. Got it. Is that I stayed with the measurement tool is what happened. So it's working, but what I wanted to do is grab that one. And since I just changed the view transform, I'm going to maybe turn that one back on. Turn that one back on. So the colors are going to be slightly off because it had the filmic. That's why I did. So I did a sample right now for that blue. And it should be the same as this color right here. They don't look it. That's why I'm second guessing that. They don't look it, but who knows? Okay. Turn that back on. 0. Home. Turn that on. Turn this. And now turn back the line art modifier. Now that gives me the area there. No, that's as big as it gets. Home. That's as good and as big as it gets. So the next stop would be to actually render it here by going and finding your render pretender, and then calling rendered images, putting it there, and calling it what you're going to call it. Circle, enter, accept, and then go straight to the FFmpeg encoding. I'm going to choose that one, MP4, H260 MP4. There you go. Yep, I think that's it. You just select that one and you're done. You don't have to do any of the settings. It's selected. And then make sure you don't have any of this. All the metadata. I accidentally expanded it. Okay, so that does it. And then you render to where you want to. All right. And that's it. Well, so much for that. Thank you for watching. That's an update. Keeps the activity in the channel. Says gives me an opportunity to say hi. I'm still around. Just it's a matter of finding something that's inspiring to post and to put stuff out there. And until next time, see what I can find just to do a shorter video than I'm accustomed to doing, because it's already an hour and change long. Well, with that said, thank you for watching. I'll pick it up next time. Goodbye.